Sometimes the mind has so many things to talk about, and sometimes the mind just goes blank. This is the case today. I don't know what I'm talking about. But perhaps the first thing came to my mind is that the desire. I don't know that if you can catch it, that before you came here, you have a desire to bring yourself here. And also the desire to make you work 80 hours per week. And there is a general purpose of the desires that to bring benefits to this body-mind. You work 80 hours per week just to put more comfort to the body-mind, namely the sense pleasure. I don't know how much that you can supply this body-mind. Our capacity of the stomachs is just that much. When the stomach's fulfilled, you don't want it anymore. Same thing with the body. That you adorn this body with foods, clothes, and how many sets of clothes you wear in a day. Maybe 2 are the most. So you don't have to strive too much for this body. Just that much it would fulfill what you need for the day. And but the desire won't stop there. Let's say that the rich people, do they stop working? No. They squeeze their brains out to find ways to make more money just because of the desire. Once you got this, you have fed enough with it, and then you want something else. The desire won't stop there. And that's the case for the rich and the famous. the celebrities. I've seen that, let's say, Whitney Houston, Robin Williams, they have fame, they have money, but something about this satisfy them. They won't satisfy for what they have, and therefore they're looking for something else, and therefore they merge themselves into the abusive substance. It's not that easy to be content. There was once the Dalai Lama visited a Catholic church. In that order, the monks themselves, they support themselves by making cheese and chocolate. During the visit, everywhere the Dalai Lama went around the factory, they all offer him a piece of cheese. And this is what he said. Honestly, I want to taste a chocolate, but they never offer me a chocolate, but just everywhere he went, everywhere I went, they just offer me cheese, and all I want is a taste of chocolate. And for myself, don't think that I am a simple monk. You might not have an iPad, but I do. I'm open myself to. Perhaps desire is the basic source for us to strive on, to live on, because of without the desire, you might become nihilistic. An atheist still have a motivation to do this, to do that. But if you are nihilistic, that is very dangerous. It's dangerous in a way that, especially with those experienced meditators, with the masters, they always say that I would rather for you not to understand the ultimate truth. You contend you stay with the relative truth. Relative truth is good enough. Instead of you go to ultimate truths, and then you have a wrong view of the ultimate truth for nihilism. Then that's very dangerous, because if you have a wrong view which is associated with nihilism, then anything wrong could happen. And because of that, the good desires and the bad desires. The good ones drive you here. And of course, the motivation for you to come here, you have a goal in mind to achieve. Isn't that true? You keep looking for something deep down in your consciousness, deep down within your mind, that each of us has a goal, and that's why you're here. Otherwise, this temple is useless. And the process of meditation is to look deep from within, so you can see every little movement of the mind working, the activities of the mind. Before we finish the session here, before you stand up, I'm giving you a little challenge. If you can really, really catch the intention to stand up, if you can really catch that intention, we do it. We walk, we eat, we sleep, daily activities, unmindfully, unknowingly, that there is a mental machine that commands you to walk, to raise your hand, to sway your head, such a thing like that. And each of that has something associated with the desires. And we can define desire as a how do I say this one? A vital source for life. We all wanted to be alive. We all wanted to live. And because of that supports us to move, to act, to eat, to think, such a thing like that. The vital energy, or we can put it that way. Looking at this way, without the desires, the Buddhas wouldn't be him as of right now. The ancient sages wouldn't be there as of right now, because of looking at it. If you don't have a motivation, you don't set a goal, then it would not take you anywhere. You're gonna stay completely still. So the first thing is that if you want to liberate yourself, or at least some sort of free from suffering, then there has to be a desire to be free. And that desire is a good thing. And I think that all of you coming here have the same desire, have the same motivations to be free, and that's why you're here instead of going somewhere else, going to the pubs and have a drinks and such and such. The only tools to go into such a nature of desire is this body. Soon as we wake up from a deep sleep, there is a connection of your sense portals. You look, you listen, you smell, you taste, the touch. All of those has something with the desires. All of those. You don't want to hear bad news. That is a kind of desires. You go for a drink, that's some kind of desire. You relieve yourself from defecating, from urinating. That's some kind of desire. It's a natural desire. But with the spirituality, in the spirituality, spiritual desires, you have to look from within to find out what it is. Enlightenment is to be free of the attachment. Once you find out the natural compositions of this body-mind, how the mechanical mind works, that from there we can detach ourselves from desires. We are still who we are. A husband will be a husband, a wife will be a wife, a teacher, whoever you are, you still are. But it's just a sense of freedom, freedom from non-attachment. And that desire, you still have it, but it's not yours anymore. And you understand that this is natural. This is an activity of the mind. There is no me. There's no you. It's just a process of working body-mind. And the sense of freedom is right there. It's very light. When we look from within, we will find out that there are only two kinds. The objects, which is this body-mind, and the knowing of that, the knowing of the objects. There are only two of those, nothing else, completely. I guarantee you that. You breathe. You know you're breathing. You listen. You know you are listening. You feel the sensation. You know you're feeling your sensation. You think. You know that you're thinking. What else is there? That's it. This is the complete formation of the body-mind, the objects, and the knowing. And during the moment of silence, which is very benefit when you sit down and do the meditation, do a little bit of investigation. And you will find out that, oh, this is it. Objects and the known of the objects. And right there, the door of liberation opens. The desire for sense pleasures drives you to work 80 hours per week. But you don't have a desire to do meditation an hour per day. Let's put it that way. Just an hour per day, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. That would be good enough for you to have an access to go into the nature of the mind. You have a motivation to work, then you should bring that motivation to yourself, because this is everlasting happiness instead of conventional happiness. It feels so good, sometimes, you have a deep samadhi, it feels really good. And sometimes you just want to stay there, you don't want to get out, because of facing the conventional world out there is much harder than stay samadhi, concentrated. But we cannot. So we have to find a balance between life, the mundane life, and the spiritual life. An hour per day is not that much. Half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, just to silence the mind and do a good introspection to the nature of the mind, this body-mind. And from there, you will find out what that is. From there, we can taste the real happiness. I don't persuade you. You shouldn't buy what I say. Just upon your own experience. When you have a calm mind, you go sleep so easily. But when your mind is busy with this and that, here and there, you cannot fall asleep. That is the case. It's already. If you worry, then the quality of life is downgraded. If you're in samadhi, calm, bliss, then quality of life upgraded. Every day, we're getting closer. king of death knocks on the door every day. And we cannot get away with that. But we have a choice to live. The choice to live with good quality, whatever left. We can do that with the process of looking within, from within. Don't project it outward. Looking from within. Find out the nature of this body-mind. Many people in the past have done that. And they are the living examples. So we can do that too. And we have the tool, use that tool, the tool of the sense portal, eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, such a thing. Use that tool to find the nature, the natural, the unconditional happiness from within. Many big manufacturers out there, like Apple's, Sony's, Tesla, Toyota, such a thing, they will never tell you that. They know exactly that the natural happiness is from within you, but they never promote that. They will say that, buy our products, then you'll be happy. They will say that. We don't deny the usefulness of such a thing. We don't deny that. But if we can find out the unconditional happiness, then we have to look from within, because of each of us has that already. You don't have to find it from the conventional world out there. The truth, the consciousness, the bliss, the enlightenment, it's already here. It's already here. And we can get that by just looking from within. Any input, any question, please? How about sharing some of your experience, from the past, from the last week up until now?
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, if you have any question to share about.
Any questions? No.
Yes, to share about.
Right now, I would just listen. Han explain what I didn't understand. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
I have an experience that I would like to get your understanding upon. So, I've noticed that I have more equanimity for bad luck, good luck, external things, which is very good, I think. Much more even-tempered and so on. But conversely, when things just kind of happen to me, conversely, I'm finding myself more sensitive, more disrupted, more emotion when there are things I'm more involved in. For example, I had a neighbor who was quite a temper, and she was
Everybody has one of those.
I know, right? Very upset with me. And I remember thinking, of course, you rise to, and I just walked away. But I've noticed recently even more so, I'm like, could I have been more compassionate? Was walking away aggressive in a different way? It racks me more than it used to. This is a work thing. I sent an email about somebody, and it wasn't bad about them, but it was talking about them, and I sent it to them by accident. All morning today, I was racked with guilt and frustration and upset, and that doesn't usually happen to me as much. So do you find, I don't know if it's a karma thing or sensitivity, does that magnify when you have more practice?
You have been talking about the sensitivity. You're more sensitive. Actually, the sensitivity is still the same, but the level of awareness. You're conscious more right now. It's just like that. The water before it was muddy, so you don't see it as much. But when the water becomes more clear, you see the bottom of the water. So you're more conscious now. So the sensitivity is just a mental state. The equanimity is one of the four mental sublime. It's very hard to stay equanimous. It's very hard because the nature of the mind is, that the activity of the mind is that it's always working. A little bit of, let's say that the surface of the water is completely still, but with a slight touch of an object, of a leaf falling into the lake, and then it stirs the stillness of the water already, and the mind is that sensitive. So anything that undesirable comes to your mind becomes reactive. That's all. But when you understand that this is how the mind works, like I said, if you understand this is how the mind works, then you become equanimous no matter how the mind reacts to the situation. Don't forget. Okay, now we go deeper into the practice. Either you are aware with mindfulness, sometimes I have to break it down, or either you are just bare aware. Those are two different situations, two different mentalities. When you are bare aware, you let the mind flow easily. But you don't have any mindfulness from it, and the mindfulness in that situation, that if you're just bare aware with an object, then anything that undesirable comes to the mind reacts, and then automatically you identify yourself with that reaction. Then you get lost. But there is always the awareness with mindfulness is that, this is what it is going. I'm just paraphrasing so you can understand. To be bare aware and awareness with the mindfulness, with something, and in any case is that it's just like that someone is looking, outside, looking into the subject without losing the content of the object. Oh, this object is like this. This object is like this. When you don't lose that content, then the reaction of the mind is most likely okay. You don't have a reaction to it. And of course that the resentment, I have a lot of resentment every time I fail. And don't think that I can pass, every situation. Don't think that. Yesterday I've had a fit with a monk. he stirred me crazy. He knew that my soft spot, so he pressed on that, and then I lost myself. But the thing is that I realized that very quick, and then the situation go back to normal right away, and I don't hold the grudge. That is the key right there. I don't hold the grudge upon him.
I don't know, this is what I was thinking he was saying too. He was saying he avoided this conflict, but then he was thinking, was that the thing to do? Should I have done something else? And I think that, you do, as you meditate, you watch yourself and you see you have these different ways to go. So as far as the right and wrong, that's anybody's.
Yes. And then another method is that you flip the channels. Instead of engaging into such a thing, you just flip the channels. That I have a friend. His goodness is that as soon as he sees there's something wrong during a conversation, he flipped the channel very quick. I love that metaphor. You can. Oh, what's for dinner, honey, tonight? I love that.
But I think this is very insightful. I think that is a key, because I have the awareness, but I don't have the tools. Because I have a tool, it's to be anger back. That releases it, right? But now I'm not doing that, so now I've got it's built, and I have awareness, but I don't have the tools like switching the channel, or so it sits with me, and I'm like, should I? I have to meditate. I can't meditate. It's disruptive. So I think that's actually very. So now that I have the awareness, how do I get the wisdom and the tools?
Yes, the wisdom. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. No, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Please.
Well, I kept finding my body. I kept thinking, I need a chair, and because my hips would hurt. And I thought, well, you're not a good meditator if you don't sit on the floor. And I fought that for a long time. And then last week I decided to get the chair, and it just freed my body up. I just was so much more relaxed the last 2 weeks. So I guess I gave into the desire, but I listened to my body.
Yes.
And it was it's very satisfying. I don't feel like a failure, like you were saying failure. I feel like a failure if I can't sit still for 20 minutes or whatever we were sitting for.
Wisdom never fails. Wisdom never fails. The failures comes from the age of the body. That's all. But wisdom never fails, because the wisdom understands what the body wants.
Well, I guess I listened to it.
So don't feel so bad, and let's say that during my time in the forest, a Buddhist lay person, every day he came in the meditation center with a bike. He put the bike outside. The session is from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and from 1 to 5 there is a short break in between. And he came in, put the bike outside of the meditation center. Sit down, boom. 5 hours later, he stood up. He just sat there for 5 hours every day. I was right beside him, observing him. And I was kind of embarrassed myself. He made me embarrassed because of his perfect setting. And he just sat down, and 4 or 5 hours later, I tried once. I came close to 4 hours. That's it. But the thing is that, this is his, this is him, and this is me, this is you. You cannot be him, you cannot be me, I cannot be you, I cannot be him. So don't compare that when you see people that sit and so perfect, and then you feel so regretful that, oh, I can't do that, I don't feel that I'm sitting properly, sitting on a chair. No, not that. The wisdom comes from the mind, not from the body. The wisdom comes from the meditation, not that you have to sit in lotus, not you have to sit in any kind of postures. If you can gain an access into samadhi by sitting in the chair, I would rather do that. Because from there you understand the deeper nature of the mind. Instead of comparing that, oh, sitting lotus is, some of them, they have a very good posture. They have so calm and serene in sitting. But who knows what's going on within their minds? Yeah, while you sit back straight with full lotus, and you're thinking of something else, your mind is chattering with all kind of narrations, then it's useless. So, I don't promote such a thing. Listen to yourself. Put yourself in a comfort mode and then cruise and to see what his mind is, to watch the movie of the mind made. That's more important. Any more questions? May you attain blissfulness in any moment. And that blissfulness is forever instead of just a short trip. May you have the desire to liberate yourself. May you have the desire to bring benefits to all mankind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, remember, try to see that you can catch an intention that before you stand up. Try that.